Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We are doing something super crazy today that we never expected to do after Kimberly's surgery. We've got a lot of footage leading up to now. We're going to show you first, and then we're going to tell you what exactly we're doing and why it's so crazy.
Okay, so here's the living area. Look how cute that is. Nice big space too. And we've got Wi-Fi, passwords, and all that good stuff. There's the stairs leading up to the upper level. Little dining area. And really huge kitchen. I mean, this is beautiful. I love it. I like these chairs better. They're lower. But yeah, I think we should be able to have plenty of area to do whatever we need in here. So I like that. Okay, so upper level here. There's a cute little work area that's looking down at the stairs. Over here, there's a bathroom. Looks nice. This is the smaller bedroom. That's a queen size bed. And it's pretty decent size. TV there. And this one I think is supposed to have a deck. Yeah, look at that deck. I'm not gonna go out there because it is raining currently, but that's neat. Okay, I already turned the lights on the other side. So, right over here, be our laundry area, which is wonderful. Need to do some laundry actually. And then, look at this bathroom here. Jacuzzi tub, really neat. And shower with double heads, that's perfect. And there's the toilet area. Linen closet. Look at that closet. And then big master bedroom. This is really amazing.
Well, that was exciting.
And bridges to the Orleans garage. Going up.
Surgery number 2 is a big one, so
Yes.
hoping everything goes well, and I don't know how long it's gonna take or anything, so
Hours based on AI.
yeah.
But we're going to ask whenever he comes in because that's the one question we never thought to ask with everything else that was going on. So hopefully it's not too long, but how long it takes to get her right.
Yep, that's absolutely correct. Another 1 stick IV.
Good.
Yeah, I'm happy for that.
Yeah. But we are here in the pre-op waiting. It's not waiting area. I was in the waiting area, but I don't know what they call this room. Just the pre-op room. But she's got the OR she is in is the one next door to the one she was in last time, so she's not in the same one. So now we just gotta wait and see what happens and find out where she's going after that.
Yep.
Okay, we are 23 hours post-op. Yesterday was a whirlwind, so I did not get a chance to give y'all an update. Surgery started, well, they took her back about 7:30, actually got started about 8:45 and was done a little after 10. Everything went really well. He said she did really good during the surgery, and he was able to put the plate in, and all is well. She saw some of her surgical notes we'll tell you a little bit about later, some abnormalities, I guess, from the first surgery. But overall, she's doing well. We had to wait for a room for a while. Evidently, the doctor she used does a lot of peds, and so somehow whenever they were requesting a room, they put her on the ped side. They said they'd started some new bed scheduling system or room scheduling system, so that delayed us a little bit, but it wasn't bad. So we got up here mid-afternoon. They got her in. Great nurses, got her all hooked up, taken care of. It's been really exceptional care here. They've done really well. She's doing pretty good. Still in a lot of pain. They're managing it pretty well, and they still got to do an MRI later just to check for swelling and stuff. And then they said with any luck, they may be able to downgrade her a little later where they don't have to keep her hooked up to everything all the time, because technically she can get up and walk around, but it's impossible with all the wires. But we're fixing to go over and let you see her, and she's going to give you a little update from her point of view.
Well, sorry if I don't have much of a voice. They did still have to intubate me yesterday during the actual procedure surgery, so my voice is not the strongest, but made it through. Yesterday I don't remember a whole lot of what happened because I was very much out of it. They kept medication in me to help me not hurt, but it also made me sleep a lot. And they also had me, without food or water for quite a while just because of the threat of nausea. And they did not want me having trouble with that. Did not, thankfully, so I finally ate supper last night. And then this morning, of course, since I slept so much yesterday, I was awake several times throughout the night. Came in to surgery with one IV, left with two. And they came in just a little bit ago and they needed to draw some labs. Well, they tried, two different people tried, multiple attempts, and could not get anything to go. So they're having to send a specialized team that'll actually be able to draw those labs with like ultrasound guidance or something. I don't really know.
Ultrasound to find the veins.
Yeah, but I haven't really been out of bed a whole lot. I got up once this morning, super shaky, but some of that's probably from how cold it is in here, and some of it is from just medication and stuff, because it always does that to me.
Well, the anesthesia, every time you come out of that, you're always like teeth chattering.
Yeah, so doing okay right now. Pain is, in the mid-range. It's tolerable, just not fun. I just feel like somebody's got the back of my head squeezing it. So
yeah, which it's all bandaged up right now. We'll probably try to give you a little peek of that later if she wants to. I know we did last time, but this time they use stitches instead of staples that will dissolve, so we don't have to have them removed anywhere.
Yeah, I'm glad there's no staples this time, but he knew what he was doing, definitely. So just hanging out and trying to decide when I want to get back up out of bed, because it takes a lot to get me out of bed right now. So we'll see. But they said if I get downgraded today and get everything under control, then maybe I can go home tomorrow, but it might be the next. So we don't know that yet. Just taking it one day at a time.
Home is in hometail.
Yes. Yeah, not home, because that's not for a little bit still. Because we're going to try to make sure I'm comfortable and managed in the household setting before we actually make the journey back, because just the traveling itself is hard.
I was say the flight is rough when you're a healthy person, so I can only imagine being like that.
Yeah. Really appreciate all of the prayers and all the well wishes. Really, really helps a lot, and I can definitely feel them. And I was very anxious yesterday going into surgery. I mean, I feel like that's normal, but I actually had somebody text me we're all praying for you, and that actually really, really helped, because I just remembered everybody that I've got in my corner, and couldn't do it without you guys, so I really appreciate it.
Okay, this Airbnb has been really great, except for the fact of, if you can hear that noise in the background, they are doing major construction out here, and this has been going on non-stop since 6 o'clock every morning. And so if you need a place where you're trying to heal and rest, this is not the best place to be right now. Like I said, no fault of the host, but they're putting up another building across and doing something. I don't know what the sidewalks are here. I'm going to crack this door open and just peek out so you can actually hear, but like the floor is vibrating. Whatever they're doing is making such a ruckus. They just stopped for a second. I'll fix it open up and let you see what exactly is going on out there. Okay, so let me tell you what craziness has been going on. Her pain's been managed well enough that we could go home since he didn't actually have to cut into the lining of her brain. We were actually not having to do a follow-up appointment because they weren't worried about a leak since nothing went wrong with that. But that being said, he said we could go home this weekend. Well, we got to looking at flights, and evidently we got a super good deal on our other flights because everything now, with everything that's going on, is super expensive, and it was going to cost several $100s to change those flights. And then the seats weren't really great. Like, there wasn't a lot of room for air. Like, very few of the flights leaving out had seats together, or the seats we needed to keep her protected from getting hit by somebody going. So that was going to be another issue. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do something crazy. Let's look at the area airports. There's like 3 airports within an hour of each other. It would be less than that without traffic. But one airport in particular had flights a lot cheaper than the Baltimore one that we flew into. And so I got to looking, but the thing is they were going to be a couple of days away, and it was an hour away. And so I'm just like, this is nuts, because we'd have to do more hotel and all that. And so I got to look, I was like, I'm just going to Google cheap flights out of the Washington, D.C. area. And lo and behold, one popped up that is American Airlines, and it's a direct flight. And I got to looking, it's a smaller plane, so there's only 2 seats beside each other on each little section. So instead of having 3 and 3, it's 2 and 2. And they had a couple seats available. And I got to doing the math on it. And if you counted all the other expenses we were going to have, it actually came out to be about the same price it was going to cost just to move our flights up. And the other great thing is, it's a direct flight to Little Rock.
Yes.
So we're going to get on the plane. 2 hours and 45 minutes later, we're going to be home instead of having to try to change planes and all that, because she still does not have the endurance to try to walk around. So we've got set up for transport when we get there. Be rolling her around in a wheelchair. And so when you do that, each connection, that would have delayed us because we'd had to get a wheelchair and all that, and it was just going to be a hassle. And so when I found this and saw it was a direct flight, I was like, years ago we said we'd never fly American Airlines again. But they have this flight, so we're going to give them another chance. So far, he's showing it is on time. Yeah. So with any luck, in about, 7 hours, we will be home.
I know, I'm so excited.
Crazy. But the crazy thing is, we haven't told anyone. My parents don't know yet. The girls don't know yet. I'll probably let my parents know whenever we know for sure that we're on the flight fixing to leave.
Yeah.
But we're going to surprise the girls because they've been having a rough time. FaceTime is great, but it only does so much.
Yeah.
So we're going to surprise them. And like I said, we will be home, or at least in Arkansas, before dark today. Yeah. Now, we were kind of looking at leaving on Saturday, but they had this flight and there wasn't anything else that's going to be direct like this. And Kimberly was handling it well enough with the medication, so we made sure that we just stayed on a strict regimen of timed medication today instead of just doing it based on pain, so that we keep her levelized when we go, because we kind of timed it out so that she'd get the medication right before we were going to leave, so it'd have time to kick in during the flight. And we just stopped at Target, got her this cutesy little neck pillow, which she doesn't use as a neck pillow, but it's kind of like a donut seat that you sit on.
Yeah.
But it's going to be for her head because it keeps it off the incision. They had some adult colored ones, but they were memory foam, and this is like beanbag material, but it's a kid one. Came with a cute little eye mask, which she will not wear because that would go right across the incision.
Yep.
But this should be able to get her comfortable enough that we can make it home, because as y'all saw with that video of the construction stuff, them starting so early in the morning, there was just no resting.
No.
Like, we had alarm set for 8 o'clock this morning. At 6 o'clock, that mess went on, and sleeping was over, but it made us get around a little earlier.
Well, and the thing was, like, last night, the way we had my meds managed yesterday, because he is a master at that. I mean, I've still been foggy and everything. Anesthesia, I guess, 2 weeks in a row has just kind of taken a toll on me. But he has been on top of my meds and helping me stay good. So last night he had them stacked well enough to where when it was bedtime, I felt like I could chill and actually go to sleep. I slept for a little over 6 hours at once without waking up until the hammering started this morning. So then I was like, well, let me go get a shower, you know, the warm water on my, you know, neck muscles and everything, because I'm allowed to shower. I'm able to, you know, get everything, you know, wet as long as I, you know, dry it, you know, very carefully and all that. But it's still one of those things, it exhausts me. So at least I've had time this morning to kind of rest in between. And then we tried to just sit down and eat lunch before we were leaving. And then I don't know if it was a jackhammer running or what was going on, but it was literally right in front of the building. And
it was a compactor. They were,
yeah,
I guess they're replacing lines or something, so they were compacting the sand or dirt back in that they had dug out.
All I know is I was sitting on the couch. It was just, the couch was just doing this, and I'm like, no, not okay with that. I was ready to leave at that point, because even if we're having to sit in the car for a little bit, at least we're not having to sit there while we're listening to that mess.
And so what we had to do that, I called the dollar rental car company yesterday to ask. I was like, can we change to this other airport? And they were like, yeah, let me figure out what it is. They were going to charge us $750 to change locations, even though we turned the car in 4 days early. It was still going to be $750 more. That was more than the rental for the whole time that I'd done before. And I was like, $750? They're like, yeah. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, forget that mess. So then I got online and looked, and I could book a car through Priceline to pick up at the same place we got the other one and drop off at the other airport, and it was less than $100.
Yes.
And so I was just like, and that's figuring in the cost whenever I'm figuring out how much this stuff costs, because we was going to have another hotel and everything. So it's still about evening out with the other one. So what I did, knowing the mess we went through before, I waited till I got to the place. They had parking out front. I parked. I booked the other one. As soon as I did, Alamo was who came up, which is owned by Enterprise. So I'm like, okay, because I went inside. The Thrifty line was about as long as it was before, and those people looked just as frustrated as we were the first time.
Yeah.
So I left it out front to make sure I could get the other car first, because like, the last thing I want to do is turn in this car and not have one. So I went to the Alamo counter. There was nobody in line in front of me. I got it. I was in the car probably 10 minutes tops, paperwork and all. So then I pull it around, park it out front, take the car that we had before through Dollar, ran it to the gas station, filled it up so I'd have a receipt showing that I topped it off, turned it in, then got in the other car, and then took off back. It took probably about 2.5, 3 hours to get that done. No, not that long.
No, you weren't gone that long. Probably 2 hours max, honestly.
It was about 2 hours max. I made sure Kimberly was settled and everything before I went so that she could make it that long while I was gone. But I didn't want to put her through that knowing how the mess was before. But it worked out, so we're going to return this one down here at the airport. Right now, we're just hanging out in it because it's actually comfortable for her to sit. We don't know how comfortable the airport is, but we want to be close. Because here, you never know when traffic's going to change. Because yesterday she looked and it was going to be like an hour and 45 minutes. And it was actually about an hour and 15-minute drive. with traffic. It's like 30 something miles, I think. I don't know. It's crazy how slow stuff is. But we had some crazy stuff along the way. There was like traffic is like bumper to bumper, running probably 25 miles an hour or so. And these guys are street racing. Like they back up behind me, I see, side by side talking through the windows. And then they take off and they're like cutting in between cars, like splitting the lanes.
Yeah.
And I swerved over because I was like, that's the last thing I want to do is get in a wreck in this mess. But we found another route that was a little bit longer but didn't have any of the busy traffic and stuff. So we swapped over to that and that worked out a lot better.
Yep. I didn't even know what was going on.
I saw back here talking, but I wasn't sure what was going on until they took off. I was like, oh, goodness.
Yeah, so we witnessed some guys racing, guys, girls, not sure, racing their cars, driving down like the center line, in between cars, going in and out of traffic on the last highway we were on. So we decided to take a little bit longer of a route to get to the airport, because figured it might be a little bit safer at least.
Yeah, the other was just 2 lanes wide with like curbs on each side, so there's nowhere to go to try to avoid people. And like I said, this one was a few more miles, but only had about 3 minutes to it, and I was like, I'll take it, because the other was fixing to get to a bunch of yellow and red.
Yeah, and this one actually has a lot more lanes that we can be in and stay away from people, so.
Yeah, between 4 and 6, depending on where we're at.
Yeah. But yeah, this is not even quite lunch hour yet, and still a lot of traffic. Stay alert. Road work ahead. Keep left.
So now we're just hanging out in the parking lot of Target, waiting till a little bit closer to time to go turn this car in and go to the airport, and then hopefully we'll be out of here soon. The plane that we're going to be on is coming in from the Bahamas, so it's had some nice sunny weather.
Yeah.
But we just can't wait to get home and surprise the girls. And then plus, being home, Kimberly will be able to rest a lot better. I know that because we've got an adjustable bed. She can get it just comfortable and right for her. And there won't be all the construction noise. The worst thing she's going to have is a few animals outside or coyotes at night. But once we get there, we'll be able to, instead of like cut the medicine down to where it's actually as needed, instead of just keeping it on the strict regimen we are now. Because like I said, we've timed it out even today so that it works out right too, just for us to make it home. Because that's the main thing, is we've checked the incision, everything. It looks great. It's all that. We're going to put a little bit of antibiotic ointment on it before we jump on the plane, just to be sure. We've got some disinfecting wipes. We're going to wipe the seat headrest and everything down. We wiped this pillow down before she started using it to try to keep everything as clean as possible to get her home where hopefully no infection happens. But she's doing really great for what she's been through. Like I said, stamina is really low, but that's to be expected. And I'm just hoping that the pressure or the force of the plane doesn't bother her. Hopefully this pillow will help with that. But we're just super ready to be home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we can get back to getting closer to normal. I mean, it's still going to be different for a while, but it's rough being away from the girls. It's rough being up in this town.
Yeah.
Traffic is always bad. People are always honking.
It's crazy.
I mean, bad. People are always honking.
It's crazy.
I mean, back home when people are honking like that, usually they're honking to wave and be friendly. But here, everybody honks no matter what you're doing. You can be stuck in traffic at a stoplight and somebody's honking at somebody. And I'm just like, what in the world? And then they'll swerve and cut you off to get one car length ahead, and then they're stuck at the same stoplight you are. It's just nuts. But overall, we've been super happy with the experience we've had up here. We're going to throw in some pictures of the imaging from her MRI pre-surgery and post-surgery, and you'll be able to see there's a little bowl type thing at the bottom of the original ones, which I'll try to put an arrow to point that out, and the plate actually fixed that. He gave it like a 50-50 shot of working, and he said it's not really 50-50, but that's something people understand better than trying to say, well, 80-20 or 70-30 and stuff like that. So he just lets you know that there's a chance it could work, there's a chance it could not. But
and whether it completely resolves all the symptoms or not, I mean, at least structurally, it did fix things. You can see that structurally, it did fix the problem. And like, I know my head is, I mean, it's super inflamed right now. It's kind of swollen because that's just normal after surgery. It's not bad or anything, but just normal swelling. But the actual contour of the back of my head actually feels normal for the first time in 2 years, which is really crazy because, I mean, if you had felt my head, the back of my head before, like you would, you know, feel around right here, and then there was just like a sharp point, and then just dropped off into tissue, and that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, because literally anything could happen, and I mean
that left a lot of stuff vulnerable too, because like if you were doing any kind of thing and something hit you in the back of the head, there's nothing there to protect it. And that's one thing he said too. He's like, I would never do the surgery just for that, but he goes, it's going to give some added protection too.
Yeah. And he did a great job, it looks like. So, really happy about that. And, I mean, first follow-up's in about a month, but they said we'll probably arrange something, telephone call or something like that. Just
he said there's no point in flying all the way back up here just for that appointment.
Yeah.
He said probably the 3-month or the 1 year would be more likely something that would be more important on that than that, as long as everything's looking good. But she'll follow up with our PCP back home, and he can check the incision, make sure everything's looking good there. But from what we can tell, it looks really great, which last time it was all staples. This time they used stitches, and so it's just it looks really great to me compared to the last time. So now only time will tell, but we're fixing to go fill this car back up with gas and head to the airport, and we'll have some more footage possibly for you later. If not, this may be where this one ends, but you'll just have to stick around to find out.